Welcome. My name is Natalie Mack, and I am the HSLDA Military Community Outreach Coordinator. Our topic today is Blue Star Families and the Military Homeschooler. Per their website, Blue Star Families is a nonprofit organization that works to enhance military family life by connecting families with their civilian neighbors to build strong communities. Their groundbreaking research is raising the nation's awareness of the unique challenges of military family life. With the help of neighbors across the country, they are overcoming the isolation and alienation of frequent moves, deployments, and reduced support from the government. To all my fellow military homeschooling parents joining us on Facebook, we're so glad that you are here. Will you please let us know in the comments where you are joining us from and if you are familiar with Blue Star Families? Also, be sure to put any questions you have for our guests in the comments as we will save time to go over those later. Today, joining me is Dr. Kim Hunt, the Senior Applied Research Analyst Consultant for Blue Star Families. I met Dr. Hunt last July at the Military Child Education Coalition, known as MSEC, gotta love military acronyms, Global Summit in Washington, D.C. And I knew after speaking with her that I wanted to invite her to speak with us. I see we have guests coming in. I'm really excited to see. I see Dr. Douglas from Cheyenne. Thanks so much, Dr. Douglas. You're always faithful to support. Anyone else that's coming in, go ahead and comment. And if you're watching the replay later, I'll speak to you now. Thanks so much for watching the replay. Please go ahead and feel free to also comment on the replay. And any questions you have, if I can't answer them, I will definitely forward them to Dr. Hunt. We really appreciate you joining. And go ahead and share this out. It is a public live and it is shareable. I see Lori from Ohio. We are a Blue Star family. Time two. Welcome, welcome, Lori. That is awesome to hear. So I'm really excited about this conversation. So I know that your organization, Dr. Hunt, empowers families to thrive, right, as they serve by strengthening military families, by connecting them with their neighbors to create vibrant communities of mutual support. I know we are so much in transition, and I still speak as if we're active duty. We retired a year ago in December, but it still feels all the same. After 34 years, it's just what I know. And so getting reconnected in communities is really part of that adjustment process. And I just love the mission of Blue Star Families. And so, would you go ahead and just share with our viewers what your role is with Blue Star Families?
Yes, thank you, Natalie. Thank you for having me. It
Yes.
was great meeting you as well last year in DC, fellow veteran Navy spouse. We
Yes.
were active duty for over 21 years, moved 15 times, 16 times in that 21 years. So live the life. And so my role at Blue Star Families is as a consultant. I'm their senior applied research analyst consultant. And I've been working with the Military Family Lifestyle Survey since 2019. I used it in my own dissertation a few years before that. And I also do a lot of other work with other military and veteran service organizations as well. But my heart is with working with military families and in support of them.
You know, your heart and my heart. I think that's what, well, I'm sure that that is what connected us last July, is that our heart and our service and our, of course, Navy, right?
Yes.
So, but we are purple, right? And our support of military families. So whether you are Navy, Army, Marine Corps, Air Force, Coast Guard, Space Force. I think I covered all of the branches, hopefully.
Yes.
We definitely are advocates of that. And so I see others are joining. Alma from California, thank you so much. Definitely, as you join us, please put in the comments where you're joining from and any questions you have. We'll get to those in a bit towards the end. So I'm so glad you're here to speak with us. This is exciting, and I'm excited that it's finally happening. So tell me, what is Blue Star Neighborhood? I've seen that on the website, and I'm curious, what is that?
That's actually a new effort that's come about in the last year, and it's an online platform. It was created exclusively for members of Blue Star families. It's where members, located wherever they're at, whether there's a chapter in their local area or not, can gather in a virtual setting to enjoy everything that Blue Star Families has to offer, including getting connected to resources and events. Many of the events are virtual to help connect people who are not near a chapter, and to also connect military families to the different partners that Blue Star has that are committed to supporting military families. There's partners in there such as Headspace, there's museums, there's parks, a lot of different things to connect families to help them sort of become a part of their community and to feel like they belong.
That is really awesome. And like I mentioned already, that's really, really important. I want to share our history, or my actual history with Blue Star Families might be relevant to some of our listeners. So our military homeschool support group, which is Fort Belvoir Home Educators. I'm the president there. Years ago, we found out about the Yellow Ribbon Tree Program for Christmas, and particularly at military-owned local Starbucks. So that was a learning curve for me, because maybe everyone knew, but I didn't even realize that there was such a thing as military-owned Starbucks. I mean, it makes sense, but to specify that actually it's a Starbucks that's owned by a military member or veteran. And so that was exciting. And so that's how, when I first heard about that Yellow Ribbon Tree Program, I thought, wow, this would be great opportunity for our homeschool families to be able to participate and support the local community. And so that was really exciting. And that was a Christmas event, obviously. And then we also had the opportunity to participate in free chess classes over the summertime, which was fantastic. And as a result, I formed a partnership with the chess master David Bennett, and he has been ongoing with our support group ever since, offering weekly chess club. And we just give a donation. He's such a giving person. But those are two really impacting opportunities that we had as a support group. And so I thought, wow, I would love for my fellow military homeschoolers to know how they can either as a family get involved with Blue Star and benefit from what you offer as an organization, but also, the larger homeschool support group and the opportunities that exist. And so I'm really excited about that, to be able to share that. So now, piggybacking on that, so what are some of the benefits that you would love to discuss specific to military homeschoolers? I know we're ready to get into the survey a little bit, or
Yes, yes. Actually, the survey is certainly top of mind, but this question actually is a great question. So, thinking about that Blue Star neighborhood, one of the things that you can do is make those connections, particularly when you're new to an area and you don't know anyone yet. You can start making those local and larger military connected community organizations where you can share resources. Resources can be shared with you. As you mentioned, they could be live events such as Starbucks events, which happen all over the country, and also chapter events that happen in different chapters throughout the country as well, and then virtual. And one of the things that I think is really important is when you are new to that duty station, when you PCS, or as you and I have both experienced, transition out and become a part of the civilian community, sometimes being dragged along the way because it's very hard to leave that family that
yes.
you know. And so this is a way to get connected to that new community and to get connected to your civilian community as well. And also, as I mentioned, the museum and park passes are invaluable tools. And I think those are especially important. As an educator myself, I believe that those are especially for helping to supplement homeschool education, to give the access, and it's free, so it makes it accessible to all military families, and that's certainly an integral part of helping and supporting of homeschooling families. And as you mentioned, Natalie, it's opportunities to connect with others that you may not have ever thought about, the chess champion, and you can figure out ways to integrate that into your own homeschooling activities and to enhance your children's curriculum or extracurricular activities.
Yes, I love all of that. Definitely. You know what? I want to piggyback a little bit and or actually go back to the Blue Star, the summer program with the museums,
Yes.
because I don't want to assume that everyone knows, because just when I assume that, there's plenty of people who say, I don't know what you're talking about. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Because it's awesome.
Yes. Yes, Blue Star Families partners with museums. I'm here in San Diego, so I think about all the museums in Balboa Park, and they are open for military families to show your ID, and you get it for free, and you're able to access the museums at times that others are having to pay for it, and so it's a great advantage, and it's also a way to maybe meet up with other families and to enhance the opportunities your children have. And they've also opened up some national park options as well, and trying to work at more outdoor spaces for families to utilize, which we know is healthier and can help with overall wellness to just get out there into nature. And obviously, again, it's my teacher hat, thinking about all of the different activities that could be enhance a child's education, just being out in nature.
Definitely, definitely. I love it. I see we have some new guests joining us. I see Jennifer. Ciao, Bella. Jennifer from Naples, Italy. And so, welcome, welcome. So, as anyone else is coming in, go ahead and drop in where you're joining us from and any comments that you have. So, this is an exciting conversation. A lot of times, as military families, we may not. Know about all of the benefits and the opportunities that nonprofits that support military families offer. And I know nonprofits are saying, we're here. You know, we're trying to get the word out and to let you, the military family, know that we are here. And sometimes that connection doesn't always happen. And so, specifically for military homeschoolers, I'm a big advocate, obviously. I know everyone probably knows that, obviously. And I just am often aware of the opportunities that do exist as we continue to connect. And so I'm really excited about that as well. So your organization has a what's called the Military Family Lifestyle Survey. And I have quoted your survey results many times in presentations I've made to the United States Air Force recruiters in Leesburg, did a training there, even the school liaison officers, which they obviously know. I just was requoting, almost like preaching to the choir, right? But still, tell us about that survey in general, as military families, why that might be something just as a military family. And then specifically, what are some of the results that from the past ones that you can comfortably share with us? I would love for our audience to actually hear about that.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, our and this is where my expertise in the Blue Star Family realm lies, which is in the Military Family Lifestyle Survey. And as you noted, Natalie, we've been sort of keeping track of some of the stats on military family homeschoolers. But overall, it is the largest annual comprehensive survey of military families. And by military connected families, I mean active duty, National Guard, reserves, veteran families, even their spouses, their parents, their siblings, children who grew up in military families no longer are also all encouraged to take this survey as well. So we
Wow,
hear from all voices, which is
I did not know
vital.
that. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. That's something I'm learning. Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, I think it's a really important piece that we hear everybody's voice in
Right,
this space.
right.
And so it offers basically an understanding, a comprehensive understanding of the experiences and challenges encountered by military families. It's been ongoing since 2009. And this insight and data has helped many policymakers, national leaders, local communities, philanthropic actors, military
I think we have a frozen
to how
situation there. I think that Kim will, she's frozen right now, and I don't believe that I am. So actually, she's going to come back on. So what we'll do is I will go ahead and share just why I think there's Kim. Yeah, I was going to share my
Yes,
experience
sorry
with the
about
survey too. No, it's okay. It's technology. It happens. We all know
it's
that.
technology, and we're having all
Yeah.
these storms out here in San Diego right now, and it's playing
Oh
havoc with
wow.
our internet at times. So,
Yes.
yes. So, I don't know where I left you, but the insight and the data, as you've
Yeah.
mentioned, you've used our
Right.
data. I've used it in
Yes.
my dissertation. Policymakers, there's
Mhm.
been conversations and explanations of what's happened in Congress. Will go
Mhm.
sometimes and report. And the survey
Mhm.
presents the opportunity to increase that dialogue between the military community and the broader American society by offering highlights of all those areas for improvement and offering solutions to bridging that civilian military divide. And so, specifically looking at homeschooling, I'd like to really talk about sort of the 2021 survey results. Um,
Sure. Yeah,
I-
definitely. Please feel free. Yeah.
okay, we're going to release the 2022 data on March 29th. And so we'll be able to talk about it then. So, one of the things, as you mentioned, Natalie, we've been sort of keeping tabs on homeschooling, and we've
Mhm.
noticed a slight increase over the years. And in 2020, we noticed a little bump. And obviously, everybody, it must be COVID. People are homeschooling because of COVID. And while there was a bump, that bump continued to be slightly increased again in 2021. And one
Mhm.
of the things that we also ask about is not just do you homeschool, but how long do you plan on homeschooling? And 38%, so nearly 4 in 10, say that they plan to homeschool their child until they graduate from school,
Wow.
through 12.
I
And
love to hear that, but
yes, yes. So it's definitely one of the things that told us is it sort of indicates that these homeschooling trends are not tied only to COVID-19, that they
right.
are a continuing trend.
Right.
Um, and we had nearly a quarter who said until they can do better in a traditional school setting. And so
Okay.
that
Interesting.
sort of
Mhm.
speaks a little bit to COVID,
Mhm.
or maybe where they're living at that particular point in time, they're not happy with the school choices. And that's what also leads them. So only 18% said that they planned on homeschooling only until in person education was available, which
Okay.
again points that idea it's not just COVID pandemic that was increasing those numbers.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
And the top three reasons, which have been the same since 2019, top three reasons to homeschool your military child from our respondents. Again, these are our respondents, so
Right.
we can only speak to them, but
Yeah.
over half did it to stabilize their children's academic experience. As you are well aware of, our 16 moves, our two girls, OCONUS, living overseas, all across the US,
Yes.
every school has its own curriculum, its own standards, its own changes. And so over half of our respondents say it's to provide that continuity and to stabilize that academic
Yeah.
experience. 36% flexibility to spend time together as a family. Again, you have all lived overseas. We lived overseas, and the opportunity to say, we're studying Mount Vesuvius. Why don't we go see it?
Exactly. Why don't we go up?
Exactly, exactly. And then 35%, so over a third, to avoid poor quality school options, which
Mhm.
um, is very
Yes.
sad.
Yes. 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 That's really those reasons are not surprising, right? Because as I speak with military homeschoolers and as I train others about us, as if we're almost like a species, right?
Mhm. Yes.
And I say that in a loving way, but there's a lot of unknown about homeschooling and the reasons that military families choose to homeschool are pretty consistent across the board. And a lot of families, that's one of the things when you get orders where even when you are what we call penciled in, right?
Mhm.
And I'm talking to, military audience. So you all understand penciled in and that hurry up and wait. And you don't know for sure that you're going to that next duty station that they say. So it's penciled in. But then once you get the orders, and even after that, things we know can change immediately, even once you have orders, but you don't really know um, what the environment, what the school environment will be like at that next duty station. And we know the states all rank differently for, education. And I know that often if families are moving to, a high cost of living area, there's some correlation with, you know, the school quality, and I'm not a researcher, so I can't speak specifically, just my own observation is, and so there's that correlation, but everyone can afford, even with the bar that we get, right? The basic allowance for housing isn't always equitable to, to cover that, to be able to live in that higher cost of living area. And so a lot of families struggle with that. And then, like you said, the fact that you every 2-3 years on average you're moving, and so the adjustment process. And we always hear, and I always even say, military families are so resilient, and we know we are we're probably, I mean, I'm our biggest champion. I love being a military spouse. I love military life. I know the challenges. I'm not saying those aren't difficult, but I also know we are very resilient, but we also, it's hard. It's really hard to move that much, even for someone like me who love to move, and see new places. That adjustment. So homeschooling does offer families, military families, that stability. Although there is an adjustment to find a new homeschool group, a new community, your tribe, it's not changing who the teacher is and the curriculum. And
Absolutely.
so the survey and the results are really, like, it's the only one that I know of that actually tracks military homeschoolers in a way that's useful for us to really get an idea, what are we as a community doing. And the survey also is pretty much what I see in the larger military homeschool community, is that I'm hearing from so many families who are continuing to choose to homeschool. I'm moderating several groups, not only my own, where it's constant. Like, we got orders to here or there. We want to switch to homeschooling, or, how do we do this? Can you help? And so it's really key. And so your organization and that lifestyle survey, while education is a big piece, I know there are other things that it covers. What are some of the other parts of the survey as well?
Absolutely. And I think that's really important. So, beyond education, the survey highlights the impact of spouse employment or underemployment,
Yes.
time away from families, not just deployments, but schools, families who choose to uh, maybe the service member goes overseas and they choose to stay at home to keep that stability within their children's lives.
Right.
And that's also, the geo-batching
The
is very
geobatching,
difficult
right.
on families.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
we look at that. We look at the needs during deployment, separation, needs overall as military families, financial stress.
Yes.
We've looked at food insecurity in it was 2000. I think it was the 2020 survey. And then again, we've looked at it again in 2022. So when those results are released, we'll
Yes.
take a look at those. And as I mentioned, we invite all people to take the survey. So there are those who homeschool,
Hmm.
those
Hmm.
who don't, those without any school aid, National Guard, Reserve, and veteran families. And so they cover a lot of different perennial issues. In 2022, we also looked a little bit at some newer issues that we try to look at. And then like I said, we keep our pulse on our perennial issues such as education, spouse employment, time away, just the
Hmm.
lifestyle itself. And we've also looked at female service members and veterans. I
Hmm.
believe that was
Hmm.
2019, 2020, that we did a special excerpt on female service members. Last year, we looked at OCONA service members as well as foreign born spouses. And so we try and bring in some new and current information as well as all the other topics. Relocation, PCS, obviously a big one as well.
Right, right. Really big, really big. That's awesome that it is so inclusive of so many military related, military touched groups from veterans to, the retirees, active duty. And so it's really key because we're all still part of that military community, that military family. And so that's really awesome. I wanted to ask you, in terms of, other than some of the ways that I have mentioned, what are some of the ways military families can get involved with Blue Star Family?
Well, of course, you can always join Blue Star Families. As a member, you have access to a lot of different programs, as we mentioned, the Blue Star museums and parks and other programs that are offered, and get involved with the local chapter. There are 12 chapters right now, hoping to expand in the future. But even if you don't have a chapter, oftentimes there are Blue Star members who maybe do meetups at the Starbucks, particularly military family-owned Starbucks, and also joining Blue Star Neighborhood to get that virtual connection that could be very helpful for those who are not near a chapter, or maybe OCONUS, and they want to find a way to virtually connect to others. The other thing is our 2022 survey results are going to be released on March 29th. That will be released live and streaming, and so people can join and watch that. And then the next day, on the 30th, are deep dives with the researchers and talking about the different individual topics. And lastly, at the end of May, the 2023 survey is going to be released. Take the survey, let your voice be heard.
That's exactly. I'm glad that you touched on those because I didn't want to forget to touch on those. Is that if anyone is interested in, being a part of that live release of the 2022, I can definitely, you can reach out. We'll put my email. You can reach out to me if you can't find the link to get registered for that. I am registered for that because I wanted to hear firsthand this time. And so I'm excited about that, and as well for the deep dive. So if you want to get the information and you're listening or listening to the replay and you would like to register to hear firsthand the survey results, please email me and I can get that link to you, as well as the 2023 survey. How can families know about that? Obviously on your website, does it go down through command units, or what's the process with that? Because I know it's your nonprofit. So how do you all get the word out that the survey is open?
There's multiple ways. Thank you for asking that, Natalie. Obviously, organizations like yours, individuals like you who have a connection, we ask everyone to help push it out. We have connections with a lot of other military and veteran serving organizations, and we ask them to push it out on their social media. We email every member. So if you join Blue Star Families, you'll get those reminder emails to take the survey. And we have other different avenues, being on speaking with individuals who are expertise in different areas of military family life, like yourself, speaking to you and letting people know. Look for it towards the end of May. It's usually open about 6 weeks to make sure people have time. And if you start the survey, you'll start getting reminder emails to finish your survey. It's anonymous. We don't put any names with it. We don't even know who answers questions. And so and we don't know what's going on unless people tell us. And so if you want your voice heard, and the very last question in the survey is always, was there something we didn't cover that's important to you?
Yes.
And we do look at that. That is taken and that's how sometimes we've gotten ideas for some of the new pieces that come in a follow-on survey. And so definitely, if there's something you feel is missing, make sure you add that in. And we don't know what the issues and topics are. We know what ours are, where we have been through, but that's not what's important. What's important is what everyone else is experiencing, and especially those who are still living that active life.
Exactly. Love it. So you already mentioned a little bit about if there isn't a chapter in your particular state or nearby you, then definitely you have the virtual Blue Star neighborhood option. So that's there. And is there a membership fee to join Blue Star?
None at all. Just send them click on that link on the website and join, and you have access to all kinds of resources.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, well, I don't know if I have any other questions. I know we could keep talking about this. I
Yes.
wanted to also look to our chat and see if there are any questions there or any comments. I did say hello to Dr. Doug, and Alma was joining from California. Where in California are you joining, Alma? That's such a large state. I've been stationed there twice, and that's where Dr. Hunt is now. So, and I shouted out our dear friend Jennifer Orval. I hope to see you at the European Homeschool Conference in Germany in early May, Jennifer. So that's awesome. And then is it Kayla or Kaylia Tucker watching from Virginia? Okay, my home state where I am actually. Where are you in Virginia? Are you near the Fort Belvoir area? Look us up. Watching from Amarillo, Texas, retired U.S. Air Force family. Awesome. Shout you out, Karen Larson. Karen says, we started homeschooling in 2000 to provide academic stability through our frequent military moves. Came to discover so many other benefits. Then there was no turning back. I know. That is generally the story that I hear. We've been homeschooling since year 22, and we've graduated forward to college. We have our 15-year-old 10th grader who's just kind of on his own unique journey, and to college is what it looks like. And so there's no turning back for most families, but we know that some families is for a season, and we embrace all of those who are military homeschoolers, and your reasons for homeschooling, definitely HSLDA supports you. And so D Rare Jim Homeschool says, hi, hello, thanks for watching. And so, like I said, this is a topic we could just keep talking about. There's so much more with the survey, but I wanted to um, just kind of light that fire to let people know about Blue Star families, those who don't, and to let them, the military homeschooling community, have a little bit of insight into some of the opportunities that they could possibly engage in, even virtually, as well as to just understand the importance of the survey and to consider maybe taking the survey, definitely, and let your voice be heard as a military family. And so I really appreciate you, Dr. Kim. Okay.
Thank you,
For
Natalie.
joining us.
You've done
Yes,
some
thank you.
great work and great support of our military family homeschoolers, and that's really great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's I'm like, wow, it's been 34 years we were military active duty. So anyway, I really am excited about that we were able to do this. So I hope this conversation was informative for those watching as well, and those who will be catching the replay. So as military homeschool families, we face unique challenges. At HSLDA, we're working hard to develop resources that will help you find connection and encouragement. One of the ways is that we do maintain a growing list, and I say growing because we want it to continue growing. It's a list of homeschool groups that you're able to search for overseas military support groups, state and local ones as well. But the directory is only as, I guess, useful as you, the homeschooler, make it. In other words, if you are in leadership of a military homeschool support group, whether CONUS, Continental US, for those that aren't military, I know I have to be aware of that sometimes using the acronyms, or OCONUS, which means outside of Continental US. If you're in leadership, please definitely reach out to me. I can get you connected to our group services attorney, Dr. Services, Darren Jones. Darren said, yes, you can call me doctor. So he's a lawyer though. So that's still good. And connect you with, so that you can consider registering your group. It's a free process, and there are benefits also for your support group. So definitely reach out to me at military@hslda.org. Also, as a member of HSLDA, you have access to a great legal team and fantastic educational consultants that can help military families like yours through questions and challenges that may come up in your homeschooling, either stateside or overseas. So if you're not already a member, we would love for you to join us. And if you are military, you want to consider joining at hslda.org/military discount. That's all together, military discount. That will take you right to get the military discount. If you are a member of a homeschool support group that is listed, you want to contact your leader and get your membership discount through that group. If you are not a military family, but you're listening and you are a military family supporter, we love you and we thank you. You can join at hslda.org/join. So there's a couple of ways you can join, whether you're military or non-military. Also, we have a playlist that lives on our HSLDA YouTube channel. It's a military playlist. So all of the prior Facebook Lives, such as this, webinars, and all of the information lives there. So please take a look go to our HSLDA channel on YouTube, and you can definitely go to the playlist section at the top. It's military playlist, and you can access all of those. So I don't see any other questions that have come through from our viewers. I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching and the replay as well. Thank you so much again. You can also comment on the replay with any questions or comments that you have. And again, if you want to get the link to register for the live stream of the results, then definitely please reach out to me at military@hslda.org. So I want to say thanks so much, Dr. Hunt, and everyone else that's joined us today. And did you have any parting words before we go ahead and close out?
Well, to thank you first, Natalie, for having me here and to talk about the survey and about what Blue Star Families has to offer for our military connected families. But I guess my parting would be, please come watch our release and learn more about what the findings are, what everybody says, and then also have your own voice heard and make sure you fill out that survey and share it with friends. We don't know what's going on unless we hear from you.
Awesome. That's so true. That is so true. Make your voice heard. So, all right. So, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And remember to share this video and tune in next month. We have another awesome conversation with school liaison officers from headquarters, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Army. So, have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you.